Hi Martin, how are you today?
Really good, Cathy. Nice to be here.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, we've got this fantastic van that you brought along from the Sydney RV Group, and on behalf of Hard Storage World, I've been through the whole van and I think I've found just about a solution for every single nook and cranny. So let's go and have a look, shall we?
Fantastic. Yeah, looking forward to it.
So Martin, tell us a bit about this van.
So this is the new Age Monterrey 18. It's one of our biggest sellers. Perfect touring van for couples. Obviously got the lovely ensuite bathroom with washing machine, great seating area, queen size bed. So really ideal for the couple going off on the big trip. And I think with the additions that you guys are going to make, that it's just going to be perfect. They'll really be organised.
But you didn't mention the air conditioning and the solar panels. I mean, that's what I care about.
yeah, fair enough too. Yeah, look, it has got all the luxuries. That's what the market expects these days.
Yeah.
So all that's there, and then with the additions that you guys make, I think it's going to be absolutely spot on.
So Martin, what sort of problems do people have when they go travelling in a caravan?
Principal one obviously is space. Everybody wants to take most of their worldly possessions and use them as they do at home, and obviously you haven't got quite the same space to spread them out.
And so one of the things that struck me when I was looking at the various spaces in the van was that this van's going to be moving, so we want things to be contained.
Yeah, very definitely. That's a very big consideration, not just place for everything and everything in its place, but that added consideration that it might move while you're travelling, and you want it all to be in its original spot when you get to your destination.
From Howard's point of view then, I always advocate that the best way to deal with your things is to put them into groups and have those groups well organised and even labelled. So the idea in a small space is to make the most of every single space, isn't it?
Most definitely. I think the more organised you are, the more relaxed you are.
Yes.
And let's face it, these people are on holiday. Relaxation is the key.
So Martin, one of the products that I was really impressed with when we were doing this makeover of the caravan was eye hooks. Have you ever heard of them?
I haven't seen them before. No, I've had a quick look this morning, and from what I've seen, it's a very exciting product and has myriad of uses.
Well, the thing about eye hooks, of course, is that you don't need to drill through the outside skin of this caravan, so there's no issues of compromising the water tightness of your caravan.
Obviously everybody's very nervous about drilling into their new pride and joy, so the fact that you can stick that on and move it around if you change your mind,
Absolutely.
I think is fantastic.
And there's lots of different variations in the range, so you have lots of choice. And as you say, it's that whole idea of being able to move it around so you're not fixed with one solution.
Yeah, I think great versatility.
What really impressed me about this van was the amount of space I had to deal with.
Yeah, I think New Age have done a terrific job. They're renowned in the industry for their cabinetry, really are top of the market there. I think they've given you a great basis to work with, and then what you've done on top of that has really just maximised it. It's spot on.
But one of the tricky things is that when you have a cupboard that's 30 centimetres wide and very deep, you can lose things at the back of it.
True.
Isn't that true?
Yeah.
So I had to look for solutions that would make it very easy to keep things well contained, so that it wouldn't rattle around when it's travelling, but then being able to pull it out so that you could get to the things that are at the back. And that way you're using all of your space, rather than at home where you tend to just live in the front third of the shelf. Some of the key organisers that we have gone through in here, you'll see. The Mimi separator wide and narrow containers, because they're very high, nice and narrow, and nice and deep. We also use the Amina organisers because they've got lids on them, and they're all food safe, of course, being hard plastic containers, and they're stackable. So by grouping and organising things, we've used every square centimetre. Really clever. In the bathroom area, I managed to put some extra totes and caddies and so on, just to keep things contained. I have to say, the fridge is a triumph. The things that I did notice in the fridge was that there's the potential for things to rattle around. So I very deliberately used our famous Marie fridge baskets. Every home should have 10 of them in my book. Easy to pull it out, bring it out to the bench, do your food prep, no problem at all.
Perfect.
But the cupboards above the fridge are really deep.
Yeah.
So I chose to make that your pantry.
Okay.
And I used good quality Oxopop containers. They stack, they're made of acrylic, they're not going to break like glass, but really good capacity, and because they're a square design, very efficient on space.
Perfect.
Use the space above for putting your tablecloths and napery. In fact, we had space to spare. In the bedroom area, clearly it's all about clothes, you need to be able to store your clothes. So I used flocked hangers because they're space saving.
Okay.
I'm so impressed by this lift-up bed. I've put some stacking underbed boxes. Now usually in a house those underbed boxes are meant to be able to slide under a bed, but in this instance they go underneath the lift-up bed, and I put 2 layers of them because there's so much room in there. Plus, you're not going to believe this, I've even managed to fit an ironing board in there.
Fantastic.
So Martin, last but not least, the space in the caravan that needs to be organised with your ropes and your spare bits and pieces, your fishing gear and airers and so on. So where do you put that?
On this model, we're lucky enough we've got the full width tunnel boot, access from both sides, and obviously space for all those odd sized bits and pieces that you can sometimes struggle with.
But you can fit a surprising amount in a boot like that, can't you?
Most definitely, yeah, it really swallows a lot of gear.
To get a really good result like this, the fastest way to get there, have a look online at all our products because all the dimensions are there. Plus we also have fabulous team members in store. So take some photos, do some sketches, get your measurements. That's the trick. If once you know roughly the sort of spaces you're dealing with, you're home and hosed. You're on your way to a really good solution. And perhaps start with one cupboard at a time, or do your kitchen cupboards and then move on to your bathroom, etc. Just break the problem down, and before you know it, you'll have an organised solution just like this.
Great advice.
So Martin, a big thank you from Hard Storage World. It's a wonderful collaboration between our 2 companies to actually be able to show everybody how you can use your space more effectively in a van. Because let's face it, who doesn't want a good holiday?
Exactly right. It's been a great pleasure for me to come along here today. I certainly think you've made my job easier. Anybody that saw what you've done to the van here will picture themselves on holiday, organised, relaxed, fantastic.